Assalamualaikum everybody. So my name is Fairuz and this is my first video that I'm gonna be posting on YouTube in probably like 2 years. But basically Ramadan starts today. I'm overwhelmed with excitement. But anyways, I decided that I'm gonna be posting a Ramadan guide, tips and tricks type of video because I do have a podcast on Spotify. I will link that in the description down below. But I was like, okay, well, if I'm posting a podcast, why not just make a YouTube video as well? So here I am in my abaya, and yeah, I'm gonna be sharing some advice, tips, tricks, and guidance on how to have a successful Ramadan, inshallah, so we can all be successful and go to Jannah together. The first segment is going to be kind of discussing the why of why we even want this, why it's important to have a successful Ramadan, what is our goal. And I'm just going to state the obvious. All of our goals is to enter Jannah, because al-akhirah is the most important thing to us as Muslims, and in order to achieve that, it's about everything that we do in the dunya. So obviously everyone wants to have fun and stuff, and you can still incorporate that. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video. But you want to have the striving and the deen in your heart. You want to have a successful Ramadan in your heart, not just because everyone around you is going to the masjid, not just because all your friends are wearing hijab, but for you to want it. And for example, I was born a Muslim and I wore hijab my first year of high school. However, it took me years and years to actually want to improve my hijab and to actually want to improve in this deen and to strengthen my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though I was born a Muslim 17 years ago. So having the deen, the want to connect with Allah stronger is something that only you can do. You can listen to as many podcast episodes, you can watch as many YouTube videos as you want, yet nothing will put the deen in your heart except for Allah. So I suggest to you, make dua. That's the most important thing. Make dua, because Allah said if you take one step closer to Him, He takes 10 steps closer to you. I talk about this more in my first episode of my podcast, For You from Faye, on Spotify, if you want to go check that out. It goes a little bit more into detail about becoming a better Muslim and setting the intentions, and about your first steps into improving as a Muslim, improving your relationship with Allah, improving your iman, strengthening your faith, and having a successful Ramadan. So go check that out. Now I'm just going to begin with 3 very simple steps to having a successful Ramadan. And the first step is to set your intentions. So setting intentions is the most important part of anything in the world. Even in Islam, the first step to wudu is to set an intention. The first step to making ghusl is to set your intention. And you can do that by setting your goals, by making a list. In my little journal, and I made so many lists. I've talked about this with my family, with my friends, with my teachers even, and it's just important to set that intention before Ramadan starts, so you know the specifics of what you want to do. Because if you don't set the intention, if you're just going into Ramadan being yeah, I'm gonna figure it out, you're not gonna get anywhere. So the most important part is to set your intentions. And then step number 2 is to begin earlier before Ramadan in order to build those habits. So let's say your intention was, I want to read the Quran once during Ramadan. You need to begin earlier. For example, let's say you naturally read 2 to 3 pages of Quran a day. So you need to up those 2 to 3 pages to 5 or 10 pages, 15 pages even, so that you're well practiced before Ramadan starts, and that you don't burn out after the first week. Because the first days everyone's motivated, everyone's reading so much, going to the masjid, praying, on the Ramadan grind, you know what I mean? But the moment those first days are over, everyone starts burning out, and the most important part is to not burn out, especially because the best days of Ramadan are the last 10 days. So if you burn out in the first 10 days, exactly. And then the third one is to have daily, weekly checkups during Ramadan in order to ensure that you're not going off track. In Ramadan, we stray off track, and it starts to be about, the people you're gonna see at the masjid, about the gossiping, the boba that you get after iftar, and the food at iftar, and the fashion you're wearing, the abayas, the hijab styles. And that's all great if it's on the side and if it's moderated. But if it becomes the whole aspect and goal of Ramadan, then you're failing, because Ramadan is not about that. Ramadan is about strengthening your faith. Ramadan is about leaving all of the worldly pleasures and focusing on what's important, focusing on obeying and making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy and following what He decreed for us. So you need to have those daily or weekly or whatever checkups in order to make sure that you are staying on track. So a great way of doing that is to just break down your goals. By writing down your goals in a little list, you can go back, check those, and then see, oh, like, am I doing this well? Am I not? For example, let's say you want to read the Quran once during Ramadan. I'm gonna use that example a lot because it's a very nice, simple example. So that means that you want to read 20 pages a day. So let's say it's day 5 and you're at 80 pages. That means you know that you're 20 pages behind and you need to get on that. You know what I mean? So yeah, the 3 steps in summary: set intentions, begin earlier and set those habits, and have checkups, inshallah. And by the way, a little tip for the checkups: if you have friends or family who also have similar goals to you, talk to each other and be like, yo, let's keep each other accountable. That's what me and my friends are doing. For example, we have the same Quran goals, we have the same Salah goals, same modesty goals. We all want to start covering our necks, which I've been, for example, covering my neck for the past 2 weeks, and it's become a habit now. So I'm gonna be a lot stronger in it when I start Ramadan, inshallah. And by keeping your friends accountable and being like, yo, how far are you in the Quran? How far are you in this? Are you going to the masjid today? Because friends who keep each other accountable when it comes to deen are friends that have baraka and friends that are gonna last forever. That's my friendship advice to you. Another little tip I have for you in preparation of Ramadan is the 5 list method. So my teacher told me about this and I loved it so much. It's about setting your goals but splitting them into 5 lists. So the 5 are things that you want to add, things you want to remove, things you want to improve, and then things you want to improve the quality of, and things you want to improve the quality of. So increase quality, whatever. So for example, things that you want to add, that would be like reading more pages of Quran, doing more rakat of Taraweeh, adding more sunnah to your fard prayers. Things that you want to remove, for example, cursing or wasting time scrolling on TikTok or Netflix. You know, those are things that you want to remove this month, inshallah. Things that you want to improve, so like your modesty, your khushu' when you're praying, making sure that you're focusing on your surahs and really having that khushu', because that is the only way that your prayer will be accepted. And then the 4th one is something that you want to improve the quality of. So again, that could be your prayers, your Quran recitation, if you want to work on tajweed, going into like a class for tajweed or something. And then the last one is something that you want to improve the quantity of, so the amount of. So that could be dhikr, that could be charity, generosity, kindness, pages of Quran that you're reading, and on. So that's the 5-step, 5 list method, and you can go journal that right now if you want to. Now I'm just gonna go on a little tangent about self-improvement during Ramadan and how we can truly use this month in order to improve our minds and our focus on our life from now until way after Ramadan, inshallah. Because okay, something that humans are so destroyed by is dopamine, and this constant search of quick dopamine, like unhealthy ways of attaining dopamine, like scrolling on TikTok, or like eating when you're not hungry, or all of these things that we do in order to quickly just get that satisfaction. And these are all very unhealthy for our lives, because that makes us incapable of doing things like reading a book or like praying extra salawat, because you get so bored and your mind just can't focus on the surahs because you're so used to always scrolling. And by our focus being so dwindled down to something that cannot grasp onto anything quicker than a 15-second video, that is detrimental to us and our improvement as human beings. Ramadan, I feel, is the perfect opportunity for you to escape that. So we want to delete social media, we want to get on our grind, we want to be academic weapons, get good grades, but also be super like on our deens. And I think the key to all of that being ruined is simply social media and TikTok and an unhealthy use of it. You know what I mean? Because you can use it for good, you can use it for bad. So since Ramadan is the month of slowing down, it's the month of, you know, not eating whenever you feel like it and deleting social media so you can focus on what's important and all these things, I think it's very important that we use Ramadan to habitize these positive things so that we're used to that after Ramadan, if that makes sense. So like delete social media during Ramadan. You're gonna be fasting already, inshallah. You're gonna be doing long rakat of Taraweeh, you're gonna be reading the Quran, and especially that's hard for you if your first language isn't Arabic or Arabic. So by doing all these things, you're bringing your mind back to slower yet healthier methods of attaining dopamine or attaining that satisfaction. You know, like when the maghrib adhan comes off and you can finally eat, that satisfaction, that happiness you feel that you achieved something that you waited for so long to eat, and then you finally get to drink water and eat. That is the healthy dopamine that we're searching for right now. So I recommend taking this Ramadan to slow down, to focus on what's important, and inshallah afterwards, if we hold on to these habits of, you know, of healthy slowing down, grounding ourselves, focusing on what's important, then we can be very successful in the long-term run as well. That is all for this brief video on how to have a successful Ramadan, inshallah, how to set goals, how to be motivated and grind, get into it, you know what I mean? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to be posting more videos, inshallah, on other deen related things, maybe recipes, maybe books, you know, other things that I'm interested in, and I hope you guys will stick along for the adventure. I hope you guys loved this video, and hopefully I will be posting a lot more in Ramadan for more tips, more tricks, more guides on how to be successful and how to live a good life. But yeah, assalamualaikum.